Here, this indicates a count on how the random variable deviates from its mean value. So that is defined as probability of this is less than or equivalent to sigma x square by epsilon square. We already know that this sigma x square is the variance of the random variable x. Sigma x is the standard deviation, sigma x square is called as the variance of the random variable, and epsilon is a constant. Now we try to prove this. So before going to prove it, we consider this x minus mx. So we already know that so mod a is equivalent to a when a is positive, and this is equivalent to minus a when a is negative. So that is a property of the modulus function. So modulus function is positive when this a is greater than 0 and minus a when a is less than 0. So from that, this can be written as this is equivalent to x minus mx when this quantity is positive, that is this x minus mx is greater than 0, and this mod x minus mx is equivalent to minus of x minus mx when this x minus mx is negative, is it? We used this property of the modulus function. Therefore, if you consider the first one, from that we can write x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon for the first case. If this x minus mx is positive, then mod x minus mx is x minus mx, then you can write this as x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon. So this implies this x is greater than or equivalent to mx plus epsilon. Now you take the second case, then this will become minus of x minus mx. So therefore, minus of mx is greater than or equivalent to epsilon. This implies this x is less than or equivalent to mx minus epsilon. Is it right? See, minus x minus mx is greater than or equivalent to epsilon. Is it? So definitely x is less than or equivalent to mx minus epsilon. Is it? So from this we can say that this is a x-axis, real axis. Let this as mx plus epsilon, and this as mx minus epsilon. Okay. So here x is greater than or equivalent to mx plus epsilon. That is the random variable is taking values that are greater than or equivalent to this value. So definitely this x will also take those values, okay, because the small x is the value that taken by the random variable. X greater than or equivalent to mx plus epsilon can be considered as one event. Is it? So if you consider this event, x taking values from mx plus epsilon to infinity, these values, and if you consider this is another event where x is less than or equivalent to mx minus epsilon, the small x takes values from minus infinity to mx minus epsilon. Therefore, this event as mod x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon can be considered as union of two events. One event is from minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, another event is mx plus epsilon to infinity. And what about this region? Here it is not taking values, that is in the interval mx minus epsilon to mx plus epsilon, x is not taking any value. It is taking values from minus infinity to mx minus epsilon taking the values from mx plus infinity epsilon to plus infinity. Therefore, this can be considered as one event and this can be considered as another event. We can write mod x minus mx is the union of two events. One event is x is lying in between minus infinity, that is we can write minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, this one. Here mx plus epsilon less than. So we have two events, that is x is lying in between minus infinity and mx minus epsilon, mx plus epsilon and plus infinity. Understood? Now we consider the sigma x square, the variance of the random variable, which is given as integral minus infinity to plus infinity x minus mx whole square fx of x dx. Is it? So this is the variance of the random variable. Now I can write this as minus infinity to mx minus epsilon x minus mx whole square, so fx of x dx plus integral mx plus epsilon to infinity, this is x minus mx whole square fx of x dx. Okay. Here this is the variance of the random variable and we are integrating from minus infinity to plus infinity. But here I consider two intervals, one is from minus infinity to mx minus epsilon and mx plus epsilon to plus infinity. So here in the second case we are not including the range mx minus epsilon to, so this range is not included. So as this range is not included, definitely this value is greater than or equivalent to this value. Is it? See, this is evaluated from minus infinity to plus infinity, but this is evaluated from minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, mx plus epsilon to plus infinity. Here we are not including the interval mx minus epsilon to mx plus epsilon. So definitely, can I write this as the sigma x square? What is sigma x square? This one. Okay, this integral. So this integral is always greater than or equivalent to this quantity, is it? Therefore, I can write it as sigma x square is greater than or equivalent to this function. Now, I can write this as sigma x square greater than or equivalent to, see, we are integrating over the two intervals. Now, can I combine these two intervals? Because these two intervals corresponds to this. Greater than or equivalent to epsilon. Is it right? This interval and this interval corresponds to this. So therefore, I can write it as integral over this interval. Integral over this interval, and this is x minus mx whole square fx of x dx. Is it right? See, instead of writing two integrals, I have written one integral. I am integrating over the interval minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, mx plus epsilon to plus infinity. Understood this? Or I combine these two into a single integral. So we are integrating over this interval. What is this interval? This interval is minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, mx plus epsilon to plus infinity. So therefore, I can write the sigma x square, that is the variance of the random variable, is greater than or equivalent to this. From this, sigma x square is greater than or equivalent to, see, we are letting this x minus mx is equivalent to epsilon, is it, in that interval, because we are including x minus mx and mx plus epsilon. We are including mx minus epsilon and mx plus epsilon. Okay. So therefore I can write this x minus mx is equivalent to epsilon. If x minus mx is equivalent to epsilon, we will get epsilon square. So epsilon square is a constant, so that can be taken out, and the remaining term is integral over the interval x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon. This is fx of x dx. Understood? This can be written as sigma x square divided by epsilon square is greater than or equivalent to integral over x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon. This is fx of x dx. So here we are integrating the probability density function of the random variable x over the interval minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, mx plus epsilon to plus n. So that value is always less than or equivalent to this value, or otherwise this value is greater than or equivalent to this value. Understood this? So this is the important result we use later. Now I consider probability of the random variable x that is lying in between minus infinity and mx minus epsilon. We know this interval, and probability of the random variable x that is lying in between mx plus epsilon less than or equivalent to plus n. We included mx minus epsilon, mx plus epsilon. To here minus infinity, here it is up to infinity. We already know that this event and this event both are mutually exclusive events. Therefore, what is the probability of this mod x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon is equivalent to probability of this event and the probability of this event, is it? Is it right? Because this interval and this interval is equivalent to this interval. Okay. Mod x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon is equivalent to minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, mx plus epsilon to plus n. Now this can also be written as probability of minus infinity less than x less than or equivalent to mx minus epsilon plus. So can I write this as probability of mx plus epsilon less than x less than or equivalent to plus infinity? Otherwise, see, the probability of x1 less than x less than or equivalent to x2 is equivalent to probability of x1 less than or equivalent to x less than x2, which is equivalent to probability of x1 less than or equivalent to x less than or equivalent to x. No, x is continuous. X is continuous. Probability of x1 less than x less than or equivalent to x2 is equivalent to this, that is equivalent to this. Therefore, can I write this as, I kept this as it is. Here I have written mx plus epsilon less than x less than or equivalent to e. Otherwise, so with this equality, you do one thing, you just keep this as it is. Can I write this as fx of x2 minus fx of x1? So here this is equivalent to this is equivalent to this, and we already know that this is equivalent to fx of x2 minus fx of x1. That is a fundamental property of the CDF. Now I can write this as fx of mx minus epsilon and minus fx of minus infinity, this one, plus here fx of infinity minus fx of mx plus epsilon is equivalent to this. Is it right? So we used this fundamental property of the CDF, and we have written this as this in the form of probability of x1 less than x less than or equal to x2. So fx of x2 minus fx of x. Similarly this one. Now this is fx of mx minus epsilon minus fx of minus infinity is 0 and fx of plus infinity is 1. Therefore I can write it as 1 minus fx of mx plus epsilon, which is equivalent to probability of mod x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon. Are you following? Now this can be written as fx of mx minus epsilon plus, can I write this as probability of x greater than or equivalent to mx plus epsilon, because it is 1 minus fx of x. See, fx of x is probability of x less than or equivalent to x. So here this can be written as x greater than or equivalent to mx plus. Similarly, what about the first one? This is probability of x less than or equivalent to mx minus epsilon. See, that's what we got. See the interval that I have drawn. That is probability of x less than or equivalent to mx minus epsilon. That is minus infinity to mx minus epsilon. Another is probability of x greater than or equivalent to mx plus epsilon. Okay, mx plus epsilon to infinity. We consider two intervals, which is equivalent to probability of, so mod x minus mx greater than or equivalent to. Can I write this as minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, that is minus infinity to mx minus epsilon fx of x dx, plus this one is mx plus epsilon to infinity fx of x dx. Understood? So this is equivalent to this. But from the previous slide, can we combine these two? So this is from minus infinity to this, mx plus epsilon to plus infinity. Can I write this as integral over x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon fx of x dx? Because this interval and this interval can be combined into this one mod x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon. Follow. So therefore, now this is equivalent to this. That is integral over x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon fx of x dx is equivalent to this. Is it right? So therefore, if you go to the previous slide, see, what is this integral now? This integral therefore can I write this as sigma x square epsilon square greater than or equivalent to, this integral is equivalent to probability of mod x minus mx what is this? This is the Chebyshev inequality. You see the definition of the Chebyshev inequality. What I have written, probability of mod x minus mx greater than or equivalent to epsilon is less than or equivalent to sigma x square by epsilon square. So that is our proof of the Chebyshev's inequality, which is a bound that indicates how the random variable deviates from its mean value. See, the proof is somewhat lengthy, but it is very simple. The first thing that you should concentrate is the interval. One is minus infinity to mx minus epsilon, another is mx plus epsilon to infinity. That is, we have to apply the property of the modulus function. So if this is greater than 0, we write it as positive, otherwise it is minus of this.